hip shit on the shelf. Cause the way the real wealth is being real with self. Might not haven't seen the glory of the coming of the left. I can't do it by myself, so I'm asking for help. It's time to switch it up, put the hip shit on the shelf. Cause the way the real wealth is being real with self. Might not haven't seen the glory of the coming of the left. I can't do it by myself, so I'm asking for help. Money. All you got is not being wealthy. Like Kanye West says, having money is not everything. Not having it is. No, Deuteronomy 8:18 says God gives us the ability to take wealth. It's the love of money. You don't like money so much, why you get up and go to work? Everybody does things about money. I'm just trying to leave a legacy for money. It's not everything, but when you got it, you can do some cool stuff. Now, your host for Talking Money in the Morning, financial health mentor to the working class, Ace Cortez.
Good morning, good people. It is your main man, Ace Cortez, the one and only financial health mentor to the working class, where I do my very best to bring practical yet proven wealth building strategies to working class men and women all over this great nation of ours. Thank you for tuning in to Talking Money in the Morning live. So glad to have you. I count it an honor and a privilege to come to you Monday through Fridays, 7 a.m. Central Standard Time. Got an awesome show for you. Got an awesome guest for you. Can't wait to bring this brother out so we can talk about today's topic. We're talking about, is generational wealth a myth for Black people? Super excited to get into this conversation. None other than, no one better qualified to talk about this than my guest this morning. If you're checking us out on Facebook Live, please just type okay or yes if you can hear me okay, if the audio is good. And we're going to get right into it, guys. As always, I have to let you know who this show is for. This show is for my risers and grinders this morning. If you woke up thinking like Outcast, you're going to get up, get out, and get something, and not let all your time pass you by. This show is for you. If you went to bed last night visualizing where you're going to be 5 years, 10 years, 15 years down the road, that's a good habit. So this show is for you. If you're the type of person that know that deep down inside, you have the desire to be wealthy, you have the discipline to be wealthy, but maybe you're lacking the game plan, the strategy, a mentor, well, this show is for you, because I want to give that to you. I want to give you the tips, strategies, the blueprint, bring guests out that can teach you wealth building strategies so that you can get where you want to be. Now, just like we announced who the show is for, we always have to talk about who this show is not for. Just in case you stumbled up on this show by accident, this show is not for the person who thinks capitalism is bad. This show is not for the person who has a problem with me saying the word money 30 times in the last 15 seconds, right? If you're sitting back waiting for Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump to fix the economy instead of focusing on your economy, this show is not for you. Now, let's be clear. I have absolutely no problem with you not wanting to be wealthy. I only have a problem with you if you have a problem with me wanting to be wealthy. See, I know that wealth starts in the mind. So I have to start thinking like a billionaire, and then I'll start acting like a billionaire, and then I will manifest my billions. So if you have a problem with a statement like that, then this show, my friend, is not for you. All right. Today's show is brought to you by Financial Intelligence. Awesome read. If you're trying to get your financial IQ up, this book will do it for you. Go to FININTEL.info to grab yourself a copy. It's written by my guest of today, Mr. Kevin Boyette. So definitely go pick up your copy. If you're the name of the game for you is to increase your financial intelligence, then that's a read for you. Also, today's show is brought to you by Lioness Wealth Therapy, because she is putting together a wealth building workshop where she's bringing in none other than yours truly. So the Financial Health Mentor will be in Memphis, Tennessee this Saturday, September the 3rd, from 1 to 3 p.m. at Fox and Hound Sanderline, 5101 Sanderline Avenue, Memphis, Tennessee, 38117. And I'll be bringing my signature wealth building workshop, Building a Family Legacy from Scratch. So if you're in the Memphis area, I want you to consider hanging out with us. You can go to facebook.com/Lioness Wealth Therapy to get all the details. I have the details on my fan page, Financial Health Mentor, as well. Now, without further ado, I want to introduce to you guys a Howard graduate, author, certified financial educator, and host of the Black Health and Wealth Show, and also author of Financial Intelligence, Mr. Kevin Boyette. Come on out, brother.
Yeah, it looks like we got some background noise.
Got a hacker. Somebody jumped in on the broadcast, man. I've never had that happen before. So, Kevin, go ahead and tell people a little bit about yourself, man. Why is financial intelligence so important to you, bro?
Well, financial intelligence is important because, I mean, when we are talking about our families and the people that we love, know, care about, those kinds of things, you know, a lot of folks might think that, you know, money is the root of all evil, but money is what's going to take care of those people. There's a book by Wallace Wattles called The Science of Getting Rich. And one of the things that he talks about is a man's highest happiness is found in the bestowal of benefits on those he loves, and love finds its most natural and spontaneous expression in giving. And the man who has nothing to give cannot fill his place as a husband, father, citizen, or as a man. So that, you know, that right there resonates with me because, you know, I want my family to have the best of the best.
Wow. Waddles, The Science of Getting Rich. Guys, if you haven't picked that up, that's a good read. And as we've all heard before, leaders are readers, right? And since wealth starts in the mind, even if you don't have the means to build that wealth, then start with imparting good information on wealth building strategies and things of that nature into your being. And guess what? It will change the way you act. And when you change the way you act, you change the way that you get from this world. Super cool, man. That is powerful because that is what I'm all about, building a legacy for me and my family. I don't know about anybody else's family, but I know that my family deserves the very best. And that's what I'm out here doing for them each and every day, is striving to bring them the best. Now, today we want to talk about whether or not generational wealth is a myth for Black people. So I want to pose that question to you, bro, and let you go in on that. Do you think generational wealth is a myth for Black people, considering the habits that we have, super consumption, not willing to sacrifice, not willing to do the work that it takes to lay the foundation to build an empire for generations to build on? Are we psychologically messed up to where we just can't build generational wealth?
No, it's not a psychological thing, I don't think. I think what it is like you mentioned before, it starts in the mind. You have to make that decision that you want to be wealthy or you want to be rich. Now, there are systems that have been in place for hundreds of years that we've got to overcome, but they are possible to overcome. And like you said, you know, leaders are readers. And the first thing that you got to do is, once you make that decision, you have to understand that there's plenty of information out there. There's an old African proverb that says, if you want to keep something a secret from Black folks, put it between the covers of a book. So you've got to start cracking books. You've got to, you know, turn off that television. You've got to, like you said before, you've got to make some sacrifices. And if you're not willing to do that, then you're not going to be wealthy. I know that one of the things that you do from our discussions is you coach basketball. Yep. Okay. And there's not one player that you have ever coached that has ever walked out there and been at the top of his game. He's had to practice. Now, there are going to be some mistakes that you may make along the way, but you're going to have to dust yourself off, pick yourself up, and keep on moving. You have to be careful of the people that you surround yourself with. Surround yourself with people who are trying to become rich, that are trying to change their lifestyle, that are, like we talked about a moment ago, trying to strive for the best of the best. You know, I had a friend years ago that I had to separate myself from, who his whole purpose was, as long as he had enough money to get something to eat and a cold beer that day, that was all he wanted in life.
Wow.
You know?
And that's so key, man. And guys, if you're just tuning in, we're talking to Kevin Boyette, certified financial educator, host of the Black Health and Wealth Show, and author of Financial Intelligence. And we're just talking about whether or not generational wealth is a myth for Black people, because I talk about it all the time on this show. And when I talk about building a legacy, I get strange looks from people like it's impossible to do, and not just looks that says it's impossible to do, but looks that says I'm crazy for even aspiring to want to do something like that. So let's get into your book a little bit. Why did you write this book? And give us a couple, 2 or 3 of the key points or key takeaways that you want people to get out of this book, and that will help them in the pursuit of building generational wealth.
One, I wrote the book because financial literacy is one of the things that we are extremely lacking in the Black community. It's something, I mean, it's not even just a Black problem. It's a, national problem, a worldwide problem. Folks don't want to take the time to learn about money. Learning about money is not sexy. Okay. It's not. It is sometimes very boring. It's sometimes you have to read and go through stuff multiple times before you actually get it. But it is extremely in order, like we've talked about, in order to create that legacy that you want to do for your family. There's a lot of studies out there that show that we don't take the time to focus on those things. We focus on, like you said, the consumerism. We focus on the material. There's a study that was done by Nielsen that said that 85% of Black dollars are spent on beauty and hair care products. That's ridiculous when you have other communities that are spending their money on books, that are spending their money on food. The second thing that we spend our money on is hot sauce. I mean, that's just crazy to me. There's a store in Detroit called the Weave Loan Store where they'll give you $400 to get your weave done at an interest rate of 7 to 8%. So one of the things that's in the book talks about getting out of debt. Another thing that's in the book is starting your own business, which I know that you're a huge proponent of.
Yes.
And there are things that you can do. You can start a business with no money. Mm-hmm. If you shop on Amazon, you can become an Amazon affiliate and at least get a couple of dollars for the stuff that you spend money on. Or if your friends want to shop through your affiliate link, you can get a couple of dollars. If you are good at a particular subject in school, you can start a tutoring business right out of your home. Tutors make between $17 and $20 an hour. And if you're a teacher that, maybe you're tired of kids, but if you tutored for a couple of hours on the weekend or after work, you can make some extra dollars, pay off that debt. There are sites like Teespring out there where you can create, if you're a good artist, create a t-shirt design and start selling your t-shirts online. And folks can do these things and it costs them absolutely nothing.
Wow, that's good stuff, bro. And yes, I am a huge proponent of entrepreneurship for a couple reasons. Number one, yes, you should have some extra income coming in. Number two, you can start playing the tax game the way it's designed to be played. The tax code was written for business people by business people. So if you don't have a business, you can't play the game. And three, you give your children something different to see. They see something other than you getting up going to work only. Nothing wrong with a job. We don't bash anybody who's got a job. It's just that I don't think that a job is going to get you the legacy that you want. So we say, have a job, let that take care of your today, but don't be comfortable or content with that. Do something extra to push yourself to another level. And I know now we're talking about generational wealth. You have already started your young daughter. I've seen her in videos. I've seen her in shows with you. Talk about how important it is to impart the knowledge into the children, even if you don't never amass the wealth, the actual tangible wealth. You can still pour into your children a wealth of knowledge, and they can take it to the next level and amass wealth. Talk about how important that is to transfer that knowledge to the children first.
It is extremely important because, once again, when you're talking about creating a legacy and you're creating generational wealth, children are looking to be led. Children are, they are sponges. They watch and pay attention to everything that we do as parents. And one of the biggest things that always bothers me is when people will say that I want my child to have a better life than I had. Well, what are you teaching them? What are you, so that they will have that better life than you? So if I want her to have a better life than me, then I have to show her the way. She's not going to pick it up on her own. I have to teach her these things. You know, I am her first teacher. I'm the first man in her life. You know, I'm her leader. So yes, she goes to school and those kinds of things. But, you know, as parents, we're our children's first teacher. So what are you teaching your child and your children? So, you know, one of the things that one of the things I, try to teach her is patience. You know, you will always, walk into a store, walk into Toys R Us, whatever, and see something that you want. Mm-hmm. But is it something that you need? That, just learning that little thing can help a child.
Right.
I mean, a lot of parents, and I know that you've seen this over the years, a lot of parents, this time of year, they're preparing to go into debt because Christmas is coming in a few months. And they're about to go into a significant amount of debt to make this child happy. Well, after a while, they're going to outgrow those clothes. They're not going to play with those toys. Those toys will be over in the corner, and you're still paying on that credit card bill. You're still trying to pay off that debt that you created for that, for that one single day. That's right. That's absolutely ridiculous to me. Live within your means. Maybe you put the stuff on layaway now and you just pay a little bit at a time rather than going into debt all at one time come December 1st or, quote unquote Black Friday.
Right. Now, and I'm guilty, bro.
Let's back up. I'm not saying I'm perfect, and I've not always lived this way.
Yeah.
I mean, I had a point in my life. I had, the house. I had 2 identical BMWs in the driveway. I can only drive one car. I had the credit card debt. I had, the parties and the cookouts, where everything was on my back and maybe a couple of friends. Did we have some great memories? Yeah, but just think if we would have invested that money, and or maybe instead of collectively putting money together for a party, we put that money collectively together and bought an apartment building.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. I've testified many times on this show that I have literally spent the mortgage money on Christmas for the kids. And in part because a lot of times when you work so hard for your money and you're living check to check, a lot of times you feel like you're only working to bills. So that's why I love having people like you on the show, because you're giving people strategies to help them overcome some of the challenges that they're dealing with so you can free up some money. Another thing that I like to talk about is that Robert Kiyosaki said he don't mind driving a luxury vehicle. He just buys assets first and his assets pay for them. So maybe if you were investing all year long and you've got some return on those investments coming Christmas time, now you take that money and you buy Christmas. And like you said, the last thing you ever want to do is go into debt for something that's not going to bring any money back into you. Dewan, good knowledge. Appreciate that, bro. Appreciate you tuning in each and every morning as well. Dewan, I see that you're a regular checking us out. We're talking with and learning from Kevin Boyette, author of Financial Intelligence. You can go to finintel.info to get this book, right, Kevin?
Yes. Now, I mean, and another thing that folks need to pay attention to is technology. Okay, technology has its good side. It has its bad side. Okay, technology has wiped out jobs for Black folks in many arenas. And what Black people need to understand is that we were brought here to this country as free labor and to build the wealth of other people. So when the cotton gin was invented, for example, so now we don't need slaves to, separate the seeds from the cotton. When the push button elevator was created, we don't need, people to run our elevators anymore. So, an automatic shoe shine machine, we don't need somebody shining your shoes anymore. Those kinds of things are going on. Those little technology things can ruin a job. can take a job away from somebody. So you've got to figure out, you know, other things that you can do. You have to have some other skills. I mean, even currently, you start to go into grocery stores, they're starting to have self-checkout lines. So you don't need a cashier. You're getting ready to have the fast food restaurants like Wendy's. They're getting ready to have a kiosk where you will punch in your food order, swipe your card or put in some cash and just wait for somebody to call your number. That's going to get rid of some more jobs. So people need to, you know, and once again, back to the kids, you know, these kids are running around with cell phones, tablets, laptops, whatever. Let them learn coding. Let them learn how to build an app, build a game that can, you know, create some additional income for them right now. You know,
exactly.
And go ahead. Oh, I thought you had a question.
Yeah, I was just going to say that you mentioned the evil side, or it's not evil, it's just the way that it is of technology, but also the positive side of technology. We talked about having a business. Everybody was given by God certain gifts, talents, and passions. Guys, turn those passions into income streams, and there's never been a better time or easier time to do that than the time that we're living in right now today, because you can build a website for free. You can use Facebook for free. You can use the platform that we're using here, which is Google Hangout, for free. And you can create a brand and market for free based on your gifts and your talents. We talked about Amazon, how you can have an affiliate account with Amazon. So literally you're getting a kickback for everything that you purchase. So it's just in a matter of you said it early on. You first have to make the decision that you're going to do something different. I like to say it like this. I'm going to do something every day that's going to make my great grandchildren proud to bear my name. So that's what we're talking about today. We're talking about legacy. We're talking about whether generational wealth is a myth for Black people. I want to talk about a couple of anomalies. I know this wouldn't happen with everyday Black people, but you think about wealth and you think about somebody like Oprah Winfrey, who has no children. Where is that wealth going? You think about somebody like Michael Jackson, whose children are of a different culture. What happens to that wealth in the next couple generations? So talk about the importance of really putting yourself in position to pass that wealth on to the next generation. And I know that you're a proponent of using insurance instruments as well to transfer wealth. So talk about that a little bit.
I was about to say, if you really want Black lives to matter, every man, woman, and child should have life insurance. From the time that your child comes out the womb, I have a really good friend who owns a life insurance agency. And he said his white customers, when that child is born, they're calling from the hospital saying, start that insurance policy with the cash value built onto it. And they're adding, you know, $20, $40 a month towards this policy. It gives your child guaranteed insurability. It gives your child, you know, a cash value that they can use if they want to go to college. Heaven forbid something would happen to that child. Do you have enough finances in place so that you can take care of, you know, your family and be off long enough and not have to immediately go back to work? Do you have that kind of leave in place? Think about it this way. In other communities, the parents will get each parent will get like a $500,000 policy, but they make their kids pay for that policy because the kids are the ones that are going to benefit. Wow. So when they pass away, the kids divide that money. Now you've got money that's tax-free. So let's just say you have 2 kids. Each kid gets $500,000 tax-free.
Wow.
To go do what they need to do, start a business, go to college, whatever it is they want to do, that money is done tax-free. Now those children perform the same task, but they get $1 million policy on themselves and make their children pay for that policy. Like when their kids get into their 20s and start working, you now pick up the premiums on this policy. And so that generational wealth is now passed down from generation to generation to generation. When mommy and daddy pass away, you know that you're going to get a lump sum of money. Now, once again, if you want Black lives to matter, if police officers are killing people and are not being prosecuted for it, you now have the funds to go on the civil side and now attack their retirement, take away their financial resources, because now you have money to go hire the best of the best attorney.
Right.
The same way that Ron Goldman did to OJ.
Exactly. And none of us have done anything like that or even thought about that in the sense that, yes, we know what the prosecuting attorney and the or they're not bringing charges against these guys, but no one is talking about bringing civil suits against these people. You know, so that's definitely an option. And then we talked a little bit earlier about being an entrepreneur and getting something started. And when you're raising your children in a household like that, and you know, I understand that children pick up more than they're actually taught. Now, I do sit my children down and we talk entrepreneurship. I do teach them points, but they're picking up more than I'm actually sitting down teaching them. So just bringing them up in the environment where entrepreneurship is something that's a focal point of the family, where building a legacy, building wealth. My children hear the word legacy probably 1,000 times a day. So what happens when you bring a child up in that environment? Then you leave to them $500,000 a piece. You leave to them $1 million a piece. You think they're going to be better off with maintaining, growing, building up on that wealth, and then putting their children in a position to do the same thing. So that's what it's all about, guys. We're at the bottom of the hour. We're talking to author, certified financial educator, and host of Black Health and Wealth Show, Mr. Kevin Boyette. It's been a pleasure chatting with you, bro. I know we're getting down to the wire, so I want to make sure that you give everybody the contact information to get in touch with you, where they can find your show, where they can get your book. Go ahead and run it down to them in about a minute, bro.
Okay, if they want to get in touch with me, they can reach me via email at kboyette, which is BOYETTE at kevinboyette.com. Okay, so you can email me there. You can look me up on Facebook. You can find the show on Facebook by looking up Black Health and Wealth Show. You can find it on YouTube by looking up Black Health and Wealth Show. Like I said, you have any questions, feel free to send me a personal message. You can get the book from www.finintel.info. That's FININTEL.info. It's been a pleasure. I appreciate it. Just real quick, another thing that folks can do, just something really, really simple, is go out and buy yourself some precious metals. Go out and buy yourself some silver. Silver is $20 an ounce, around $20 an ounce right now. Go buy yourself an ounce of silver. I just watched a video over the weekend where this guy spent, he wanted to have 1,000 ounces of silver by the time he finished his doctorate. He had friends who smoked cigarettes that were spending, $8 to $10 a pack for cigarettes. He said if they could spend $8 to $10 a pack to kill themselves, twice a week or 2 times a day, I could spend $20 a week to go buy myself some silver. And,
wow.
And within, I think like 2 years, he had over 1,000 ounces of silver.
That is amazing. And we don't look at building wealth as a step-by-step process. It's like we've been trained that lottery mentality. So if we can't strike it big and hit it, strike it rich and hit it big right out the park, nobody wants to hit singles and doubles and triples anymore. It's got to be a home run or nothing, right? But you just laid out, even with the insurance, you're talking about $15-20 a month,
right?
For insurance, so you can build wealth gradually, and that's how most wealth is built. But when you don't understand the difference between wealth and riches, you get caught up in trying to swing for the fences instead of systematically putting things in place. What I know about wealthy people is they build wealth on autopilot. So direct drafts are coming out of their check, paying for those insurance premiums. Direct drafts are coming out of their check, going into some sort of investment account. So that's on autopilot. So they live what appears to be regular lives. So you may see them splurging here and there, but they're splurging after they've already paid themselves, after money has already gone into investments, after money has already been saved for a rainy day, after money has already been put into the child's college fund. So when we're competing with the Joneses, We have no idea that the Joneses have already taken care of business and they're just playing with what's left. So, bro, it was a pleasure having you on this morning. We've got to do it again, man, because I know you have a wealth of knowledge. Guys, today's show is brought to you by Financial Intelligence, the book written by Mr. Kevin Boyette. You can go to FinIntel, FININTEL.info to pick up a copy of that book. You can also follow his show, the Black Health and Wealth Show. And we didn't even get into the health side, but what most people will end up doing is they will sacrifice their health chasing wealth, and then when they get the wealth, they're going to use that wealth to try to recover their health. So if you're taking care of both of them at the same time, then you don't have that problem, because even those of us who do acquire some sort of wealth, we're usually spending that wealth to recover our health in our latter years instead of passing it on to our children. So maybe when we have you back on, bro, we can talk about the health aspect of why that's hurting a lot of us from passing down that generational wealth too. Show is also brought to you by Lioness Wealth Therapy. They're bringing in yours truly, financial health mentor. So I will be in Memphis, Tennessee this Saturday, September 3rd from 1 to 3 p.m. at Fox and Hound Restaurant, 5101 Sanderlin Avenue, Memphis, Tennessee, 38117. If you want more information about the workshop that we're putting together, go to Lioness Wealth Therapy on Facebook, and you can pose your questions over there and learn more about that particular event. Also, I have an event set up on my fan page, Financial Health Mentor. So, guys, I certainly appreciate you guys hanging out with us once again. It's your main man, H. Cortez, Financial Health Mentor to the working class. And remember, if you got questions that you want for our Friday Q&A, shoot me those questions via inbox, and I will save them, compile them for a Friday show. But until I talk to you tomorrow's show, where we'll be talking about the 7 forms of wealth. Wealth is more than just money, guys. You have to understand that you could be accumulating wealth in other areas. So we'll talk about that. And this is based on Dr. Dennis Kimbrough's research. So we'll talk about that on tomorrow's show. Until I talk to you then, I want you to get your money up, because you absolutely can do it. Peace out. Stay on for a second, Kevin.
All righty.